Peace. This is Court in Session Podcast, and I'm your host, Justice Hype. No, this isn't the court of law, more like the court of observation and factual evidence, where at any time you or I can be the judge, jury, plaintiff, or defendant. Now, on this episode, as we enter the summer season, I must urge each and every one of you to be vigilant and aware of your surroundings at all times. As we know, the last few summers have been crazy, just insane, with the random shootings and just sporadic violence that's just taking over the entire country. And on this episode, speaking of which, our favorite fascist from Florida strikes again, Mr. DeSantis, with the new law that takes effect on July the 1st, 2023. Yes, this July 2023 in the state of Florida, you are now permitted to carry a firearm lawfully without a permit. Yes, as of July 1st, 2023, it gets real in the state of Florida. You are no longer required to have a permit to carry a firearm. And as you see on the screen, you must be 21 years of age to conceal carry in the state of Florida. Now, what does this mean? All coming on the cusp of increased gun violence across the nation, gun sales increasing, and mass shootings increasing. Obviously, we had the Parkland tragedy just a few years ago that's still fresh in the minds of many of us, and it really opens up the question of the Constitution and where it gives us the right to bear arms and the responsibility that also comes with that. Now, keep in mind that when the Constitution was written, it was in a completely different context and obviously a totally different time frame in history, in which there was war and there was need for citizens to possibly arm themselves against the militia and the independence, the war for independence. And also at that time there were no supermarkets, so obviously there was a lot of hunting, so there was obviously a need in the country for the citizens to be armed. But in this time, we're dealing with a completely different scenario in which obviously there's still hunting, game hunting, sport hunting, but there's also hunters of men, predators out there, and a need for people to arm themselves, as we know that 911 and the police ultimately cannot protect us or secure us and our loved ones 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So there is a need for the public to be armed, but at the same time, do we want to allow anyone, regardless of mental state, regardless of criminal history even, to have access to a firearm? And as you see also, the law also mandates that firearms must be concealed. They can't be in clear sight in public. They must be kept on one's person, within a holster or in a handbag. Obviously, as the word says, concealed, hidden. So that is also a part of the law as well. But this is also not only a political issue, a social issue, but it's also an economic issue, as the NRA and gun manufacturers are definitely on the side of this new deregulation, because gun sales, gun retail is huge business. As we know, gun sales went up during the pandemic across the country. And as gun sales have increased, so have shootings, homicides. And I just want to leave you, before we get out of here, this is not going to be long, I just want to leave you with a few stats from the ATF, concerning gun violence in the state of Florida. And make sure you get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this. Are you on the side of guns being regulated and permits being necessary for those wanting to carry firearms? Or do you feel like permits aren't necessary and this law is actually favorable to the public at large, not just those who are gun sports, but those who want to feel like they need guns to secure themselves? Let me know how you feel. And also, the last thing that we want to throw out there as a part of this law as well is that each one in possession of a firearm must have valid identification at all times. So do remember, for those of you in the state of Florida who's eager to now own a firearm, do remember you have to be 21 years of age. You do have to have valid identification at all times while you're in possession of the firearm, and the firearm must be concealed, which means hidden, out of the sight of the public. Okay, so yeah, that's what it is, people. Once again, I urge you to be safe, be vigilant this summer, and like I said, I'm going to drop a few stats for you to hopefully think about in your thought process of whether this is good or bad. But once again, stay safe and hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Now, before we head out, just a few stats. Homicide, including guns, have increased 20% since 2019 in the state of Florida. Manslaughter involving guns has increased 100%, 107%. Yes, folks, 107% increase in manslaughter involving guns in the state of Florida. Gun sales have increased 43% in the state of Florida since 2019. Florida ranks number 19 in gun-related homicides. That's number 19 out of 50 states in the union. And 76% of the homicides in Florida involve guns. Now, the average homicides is slightly under 1,000 per year. 1,000 people, slightly under 1,000, or let's just round it to 1,000 people killed annually by guns in the state of Florida alone, which is about 5 out of every 100,000 residents. Just something to think about, something to ponder, as once again, this new law takes effect on July the 1st, 2023, which basically allows anyone in the state of Florida over the age of 21 to carry a weapon. All right, folks, let me know what you think. Once again, stay safe out there. I urge you, I can't repeat this enough. Please be cognizant of your surroundings, where you choose to place yourself, when you choose to place yourself in certain places. I can't stress this enough, man. We've lost enough people in untimely manners. All right, that's what it is for now. I'll catch you on the next session. Peace and blessings.